What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and this here is the JXD 502 Mini, and I think this here is the world's first Pico quad. Now, this thing is very tiny. I don't know if it's translating good on video how tiny this thing is, but let me just take this thing out of here. Tiny. Now this here is the Cherson CX10A. It was I guess previously the world's tiniest quadcopter, and look how tiny this thing is compared to the Cherson CX10. This thing is really tiny, and it actually flies well. The transmitter on this is the same as the Cherson CX10, little tiny transmitter. So you don't have to worry about the transmitter getting any smaller. I was worried about that when I saw how tiny this thing is. But this thing is amazing to me. It's just amazing that they were able to get this thing so tiny. Finally, the Cherson CX10 has been dethroned as the smallest quadcopter as far as I'm concerned. I did see a JJRC. Looks like they have a version of this, but I don't have that one, and I don't know if it's this tiny. This thing does have one LED. I don't know why they didn't get 4 LEDs on here for some night flying. That would have been cool, but then again, this thing is so tiny that I think wind would affect it, its flight. It would probably get blown away with these tiny little props here. Let me see if I can turn it on. There's an on and off switch back here. One single LED in the front, and it's red. It does go solid once you bind it to the transmitter. Let's see. Okay, so this thing is just awesome, just because of how small it is. These motors on here, I think these may be some new motors. I don't think I've seen these motors before. They're just tiny. These motors in here look to be smaller than the motors that are in the Cherson CX10. They might be as tall, but they are definitely more slender. So I don't know what size this motor is, and I'm not about to take this thing apart to see what size the motor is. This thing does have headless mode and 1 key return. I'm not a big fan of that stuff, the headless mode and the 1 key return, especially on something small like this. You're not going to be flying this thing outdoors that far away where you need to put in the headless mode or 1 key return to get this thing to return to home on you. If you need this thing to return to home on you, then you're flying it too far, because this thing is too tiny to be flying outdoors, for one. I just think that's a useless thing that they put on here, a useless feature, but it does have it. This thing flips really well. It flips. It has looping flips. But it's so tiny that it doesn't loop very far. So it looks pretty cool while it's doing its flips. The accelerometer can be calibrated with both sticks in to downward and in to the center like that. You press this stick in on this side to arm the flips, and this side over here you press it in to change the rates. It does have 3 rates, and it does have a very nice pitch, and the protocol is pretty nice. This thing is using the Huying Toys protocol, the same protocol that the X6050 is on, and the same protocol that the Cherson CX10 green board is on. So it's a nice protocol. It can be flown with deviation, hacked devos. So that's pretty nice too. it could be controlled pretty precise, and it flies really nice with the Devo. It flies not too bad with this little tiny transmitter either. This thing is just a really unique little aircraft, and being so small. I haven't tried to take the remove the canopy because it requires that you remove these tiny screws on the bottom. The charging socket is on the bottom there, little micro connector there, and I just wish it had a rare LED just for orientation. Maybe in a dark lit room, flying it indoors. I might try to fly this thing outdoors to see what happens, but I just have a feeling that it's not going to be a good flyer outdoors. I had it for a little while, and I never even thought to take it outdoors. But I think I guess I will try to see if this thing will fly well outdoors, but I doubt it because my ceiling fan was on and I was flying this thing in my living room, and the ceiling fan just threw it off. It threw it pretty far. So I think that this thing, and my ceiling fan blows down, so just that light downward current of air caused this thing to have a lot of turbulence. Unless I fly fast through it, it really affects the flight of it. So I would think that some winds outdoors would probably affect this thing really bad. Really nice little aircraft it is, though. I'm really surprised, pleasantly surprised by this one actually. As you can see, it came in this little this nice little storage case. We've seen this before by Lian Sheng. They did a lot of this, and I think they were copying from the Hubsan Q4 was the first I saw that had this. It has an instructions manual, but this thing, I was able to decipher it and figure out what they meant by some of the things, but it's not really good English on here. I guess it's okay. You can pretty much figure out what they are trying to get you to do. One side is all Chinese, so it comes with an extra set of spare props as well, and a charging cable for this thing with that micro connector on there. The transmitter actually has this soft coating on the plastic, just like the Huiying Toys X6058 black transmitter. If you guys who have that, this feels exactly the same way. Really soft to the touch. Other than that, it's a normal nano transmitter. It takes two AAA batteries. The sticks press in to execute different things. You hold in this button here to put it in headless mode, and the one key return, you hold in this button here. Yeah, little tiny little guy. The JXD 502 Mini, which is actually a Pico, the world's first. Thanks for watching.